Fed up on fed up. Fed up, fed up, fed up, fed up, fed up on fed up. Fed up, fed up, fed up on fed up. Fed up on fed up with the drugs. Fed up with the fake love, with the gun in my brain gon' bang on. Fed up with the drum.
Rapper Christopher Wallace, or Biggie Smalls, was murdered by a gunman hired by Death Row Records founder Marion Suge Knight, according to a former FBI agent who has spoken to the New York Post. Wallace was gunned down on March 9, 1997, when his SUV stopped at a red light on the corner of Fairfax Avenue and Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, but the crime remains officially unsolved, according to the Los Angeles Times. Now, former FBI agent Phil Carson, who worked on the case for 2 years, has told the New York Post the murder was carried out by Nation of Islam convert Amir Mohammed with the help of corrupt Los Angeles police officers. Carson alleges that Wallace's murder was revenge for the earlier murder of fellow rapper Tupac Shakur, who was signed to Suge Knight's Death Row Records. He further alleges LAPD police officer David Mack and others helped facilitate and cover up the crime. Carson states that the original target was not Christopher Wallace, but in fact record producer Sean Puffy Combs, who was in the vehicle ahead of Biggie's SUV on the night of the murder.
Welcome back, Truth Conspiracy, to another reading. This one, as you have seen, is going to be done on Biggie, Notorious BIG, Christopher Wallace. Now, unlike Tupac, Mr. Big is and was truly murdered. There was no fighting on his behalf. I feel like, first of all, let me stop and say that when I was in high school, now this is going to tell my age, but oh well, when I was in high school, the Life After Death CD came out. And I had just gotten a brand new truck with a massive, massive bass cannon and stereo system in it. And I put this CD in, and we're putting it on the song Hypnotize, and put it on repeat, and cruise around town on the weekend with that bass cannon throwing out them beats. And I'm telling you, it would bump so hard. And I was the biggest Notorious B.I.G. fan. And when I found out that he had been murdered, I cried. He was the first celebrity or superstar, singer, rapper, whatever, first person famous that I absolutely broke my heart that had passed away. His music was legendary, and it was a staple of my senior year of high school. I couldn't have made it through my senior year. Biggie made my senior year, I'll put it to you that way. And I always felt like, now this is before the era of the internet and all that stuff. So anything that you found out either had to be a news source or MTV. MTV is where we got a lot of our musical news at. I had this feeling from just the jump that law enforcement is responsible. LAPD set up Biggie to have him killed. And I don't know why. I don't know if this was truly a retaliation on Tupac's behalf or whatnot. Because, like I said, I believe with all my heart, and you can't convince me otherwise, that Tupac was a government plant. Him and Suge Knight both. I mean, Suge Knight said, told you that. He told you their code names. His was Simon and Tupac's was Machiavelli. I don't know if it was retaliation for whatever happened between him and Tupac, or if it was something else. But I do feel like very strongly that Biggie was an LAPD hit. So, we're going to do a reading and see what the cards tell us. Here we go. Now, I do have specific questions for this as well, so. All right. First card, circumstances surrounding Biggie's death. Reason for the circumstances. The forces and influence behind Biggie's death. Personal agenda and gain behind the death of Biggie. the role of law enforcement in Biggie's death, the energy surrounding Biggie the night that he was shot, the perpetrator, motive, something hidden about Biggie's death, and a final say from the court. Alrighty, here we go. Let's start with the first card, which is going to be the circumstances surrounding Biggie's death, and that's going to be the Hermit reversed. That's someone that's withdrawn too much, avoiding self-reflection because they're afraid of what they're going to see, and it's becoming too fixated with something. That makes sense, you know, that all that fame and money has to change a person. All right, now the next one is going to be the reasons, and that is going to be the Nine of Cups, and that's an invitation. Excuse me. It's well known that the reason why Biggie was in LA when he got shot was because Puff Daddy or P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, invited, use that term loosely, him to come to LA. Pretty much demanded him come. Well, in the end, it was a demand that he come there. So, you know, a lot of people think that he's responsible for Biggie's death. So, you know, it remains to be seen. But that's why that was the reasons. All right, our next card is going to be the forces or the influences behind Biggie's death. That's going to be the Ten of Cups. It is reunions, homecomings, and gatherings. Gathering. It's been in LA. So that was the influence. Well, of course, that makes and it was a duh moment for me right there. He had to be in LA for the hit to go down. So that gathering and that invitation was prelude to his murder. All right, the next one is going to be the agenda or the gains someone would have from Biggie's death. And this is going to be the Nine of Wands. That's showing being halfway through a battle. That's a battle between him and East Coast, West Coast, whatever, him and Tupac. It's representing ongoing battles, same. And it's being close to success. So, Biggie's death would have pushed somebody over the edge with success. Man, this is looking like P. Diddy to me. This is sure looking like P. Diddy to me. And I was convinced law enforcement was the one that pretty much set him up. Woo! Now listen, that's what you get. You know, you ain't always right. The cards are, but you're not. All right, the next one is going to be the role law enforcement had in Biggie's death, and that's going to be the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is reminding you to be mindful how you treat others, to use compassion and sympathy. It's also, we're going to aspect it with, we have two queens, right? They're both upright, and that signifies a rivalry. So there was a rivalry between LAPD and Biggie. Okay. Now the next one is going to show us the energy surrounding Biggie that night. And that's going to be the High Priestess reversed. In reverse, that's hidden knowledge, secrets, telling you to trust your instincts and your gut feeling. So hidden knowledge and secrets, everybody that was around him knew that he was getting hit that night. Hidden knowledge and secrets. Everybody but Biggie knew. All right. The next one is going to show us the perpetrator. That's the Seven of Cups. That's a card of choices and confusion. It's also being faced with an insubstantial offer. This is big. This is P. Diddy. I was wrong. This is P. Diddy. All right, the next one's going to be the motive, and that's the Six of Pentacles reversed. That's going to be showing money coming that you can't keep. Envy due to money. Yeah, this is P. Diddy. Money coming that you can't keep. Money coming for Biggie that he can't keep, and envious of Biggie because of the money. Yeah, this is P Diddy. This is all P Diddy's idea of doing. Plus, not to mention the money, but the success he would get from Biggie passing away. The next one is going to be something hidden about Biggie's case, and that's going to be the Knight of Swords. That's showing sudden truths coming to light, underlining conflicts being exposed. It's also disputes and tension at work. So him and P Diddy and Biggie's had a falling out. I guarantee you over money. But I guarantee you P Diddy's tried to squander him or keep funds from him. So that has caused a big rift. And that truth's come to light. So I say, not only was his motive money and success driven, but also to keep Biggie's mouth shut. He didn't want Biggie going out and telling everybody. See, not that he wasn't that big then. His success didn't come till later. His success came with, ironically, coincidentally, which I don't believe in coincidences, that song he put out, I'll Be Missing You, talking about Biggie. Oh, yeah. Now, let's have a final word from the card. It's going to be the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the card of the entrepreneur, the producer. And as, again, aspected with this other queen, is a rivalry. Now, notice, the queens signifying rivalry come up for P. Diddy and for law enforcement. So I wasn't 100% wrong. I just didn't have all the players involved. P. Diddy has either been in bed business-wise with the LAPD, either owed them something, or commissioned them to do the hit on Biggie. Because after this dispute at work, Biggie no longer became a rival. He also became... Wait a minute, let me back up here for a second. I've got two knights. Ooh, I didn't... Okay, here. This is going to be a little bit... Wait just a second here. It's going to be a little bit more... I've got two knights here. And aspecting each other, those mean a friendship. Oh, yeah, definitely. That's... Biggie and P. Diddy were friends. Supposedly that was his boy. He was devastated when Biggie was killed. So they were friends, and after all this has happened, this dispute at work, oh, and it's on the same card too, dispute at work, tension at work, sudden truths coming to light, underlying conflicts being exposed. So after this all went down, the friendship was no longer a friendship, and then Biggie becomes a rival, and then I guarantee you Biggie's threatening him to go to a different record label, because he was big then. And he could have took his talents anywhere. I bet anybody would have signed him. So after that, he became a rival to P. Diddy. Oh, wow. Well, this definitely tells the story. This definitely tells what happened to Biggie. And it's some of what I thought, but I always went back and forth between P. Diddy and the law. Never would I really put together them working together. But that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to this read. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Better bomb, better bomb, better.